From New York City, it's Wendy Williams. Today, the remarkable Rosie Perez tells Wendy all about her revealing new memoir and gives us the lowdown about working with Jennifer Lopez. Plus, has Brandy Norwood called off her engagement? Wendy's got the details. And all the latest juicy hot topics. Now, here's Wendy.
So much for watching. Say hello to my fabulous, beautiful, insightful co-host studio audience. Lovely. Always great when we spend time together, that's how. Listen, Chris Brown had a surprising visitor in rehab. Brandy and her fiance, well, they're not saying it's over, but she's not wearing her ring. We'll talk. And the Bachelor gives his final rose and gets, well, everybody hates him now. Did you watch last night? Yeah. Well, let's talk about it and more. It's time for Hot Topics. So, the relationship between Chris Brown and Rihanna is over. But according to the Daily News here in New York, Rihanna secretly visited Chris while he was in rehab. Now, I found this really shocking because we were just talking yesterday and I was saying that, when you go to rehab for something, whether it's drugs or dealing with your family or emotional issues, I don't particularly find it healthy to have to drag anybody else along to apologize to or to be in your life unless that person is germane to you, like your mom or your dad or your siblings or, your aunts or people like that. Certainly no ex-boyfriends or girlfriends, And then some of my producers were saying, well, they were in a relationship. It was the relationship for which he's saying that he's having that post-traumatic stress, from all of the business that we as society gave him for beating Rihanna. But Rihanna... I don't know what's wrong with them, but we'll continue. For beating Rihanna, but I did not find it necessary for Rihanna to go visit him in rehab for him to apologize to her. Like, send her a telegram. Do you think it was necessary in his healing by clapation for him to visit, or for her to visit him in rehab? Do you think it was necessary for his healing? No. Anyway, reportedly, Chris lied about the visit to his then girlfriend, Karrueche Tran. And so, that is a funny name. But a really cute girl. So he lied to Karrueche, his girlfriend at the time, about Rihanna visiting, and that allegedly is why she broke up with him. They're saying for good, but it's never been for good. She'll be back tomorrow. She's that type. They're on again, off again, on again. Let's move along. So, everything is going well for Brandy Norwood. I mean, the game is back on TV. Her last album did fairly well, in a Beyonce world. She keeps her weight together. Her family loves her. Everything is good for Brandy. She's got a beautiful daughter, and she was engaged the last time she came here on the Wendy Show. However, isn't her fiance or former, I don't know what to call him, a Brandy, so I'm just gonna call him Ryan. His name is Ryan Press, and Ryan is Brandy's manager, and they got engaged back in 2012. Well, Brandy's been on our show a few times, and I always like asking her about her personal life. She's so cute. So she and Ryan at that time were living together, and she told me here on the Wendy couch, and she said, but she's not as comfortable with them living together when she knows living together is supposed to really mean marriage. She said that her father Willie and her mother Sonia love him. Her brother Ray J loves Ryan. Her daughter loves Ryan. And I thought everything was right with the world. And they work together because she's the singer and he's the manager. However, they haven't been spotted together in over 3 months. Well, and the last picture that was on her Instagram of him was 5 months old, back in October, exactly. She stopped wearing her engagement ring. Now, to me, that seals the deal. Brandy probably doesn't want to address it, but I believe that this engagement is over. Now, for those of you who are married, you might not wear your ring all the time. You might not be a fanatic about still wearing your wedding set. I'm one of those fanatics. But I can tell you one thing that we all have in common. When we first got engaged, we would double back around to get our ring if we left it, right? Well, the last time Brandy was on a red carpet was for what award show? The Essence Luncheon, and she said to the interviewers, "Do not ask me about my relationship." Now see, oh God. And then, to seal the deal, here's the quote. Personally, Ryan and Brandy, this is from one of her people, personally, Ryan and Brandy are good, and professionally, he is still her manager. No, they aren't. Not in my head. And no, he's not. Because my thing about being a manager is, why would he still want to be her manager? Why would she still want him to manage her if, you know, for whatever reason, they might not be engaged anymore? They don't share children. They don't share a mortgage. Remember, he moved into her house. You know, they probably don't have car payments together or anything like that. So why would he want to be her manager? Oh, Brandy, listen, you'll find another one. And Ryan, you're cute enough, you'll find another one too. I think the healthy thing to do is, if they're not engaged anymore, to cut all ties to one another. And the one that I feel sorry for the most, aside from Brandy, is her daughter, Sarah. Sarah, I think her name is. Sarah, you know, a little girl, cute, you know, she's like 10, cute. Anyway, we'll keep following the story, and thank you. So, did you watch The Bachelor last night by claps? Lukewarm. Maybe that's because you held us for 3 hours. Yeah, it was from 8 to 11. Who has all that time? I was trying to watch, but I've never been into this Juan Pablo guy. I think he's a jerk. And he doesn't look like a Juan Pablo. I mean, he's a nice enough looking man, but when I think of Juan Pablo, I told you, to me, that is like the height of caliente-ism. And Juan Pablo doesn't quite give me that. Anyway, last night, I was switching back and forth between HLN and The Bachelor and a bunch of other stuff, but on last night's finale, it was the finale for the season, Juan Pablo rejected Claire and didn't propose to Nikki. Well, you know, the premise of the show is that he drops down on the knee at the end of this 2 months on TV and proposes. What stupid girls. Stupid, stupid. How stupid are we as women to think that can actually all happen in 2 months? I mean, I could fall in love with somebody in 2 months. Could you fall in love with somebody in 2 months? I could. If it's the only guy I've been seeing and we've been putting in time with each other, like, you know, talking on the phone all the time, not that Instagram mess, and dating every Friday, Saturday, and brunch on Sundays, I'm a soft and pink girl. I could fall in love in 2 months, but I wouldn't marry you in 2 months. Well, I have to tell you, Claire, the rejected bachelorette, lashed out. Take a look.
Do you know when I made my decision?
It doesn't matter to me.
Okay.
I lost respect for you.
Okay.
Because, I'll tell you what.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I knew what kind of man you were.
Okay.
What you just made me go through.
Mm-hmm.
I would never want my children having a father like you.
Okay. I'm glad I didn't pick her.
So he goes, I'm glad I didn't pick her. In the meantime, I'm glad you didn't pick her either, seeing as the word on the street is that you still live with your parents and you've blown through all your soccer money. and you know what? For those of you who are Bachelor addicts, you realize that you've made him the most hated Bachelor in Bachelor history. And then he tries to act like, you know, when it's convenient for him, like he doesn't understand something because of a language barrier. Go someplace, Juan Pablo. Look how I'm crossing my legs. Wade, can you get my full leg? Yeah, come on. You know what I'm preparing for, don't you? No, my legs. Get it from the front. Rambo, not you. Up here. Now, and Suzanne, nobody needs your coaching, but if you are my true co-host and you come here with super knowledge of hot topics to assist me when I get a senior moment, then do you know who crosses her legs like this? Naomi Campbell, that's right. I've been counting calories, throwing flaxseed on my food, doing Pilates at the gym, slamming my mouth shut, losing weight. And I had no idea it was all for the buildup of Naomi, who's coming when? March 19th. Look, first time I saw Naomi cross her legs like this, she was on Oprah. And that was years ago. And I tried it, I couldn't do it. Like this, it takes a certain skill. Go ahead if you're at home watching TV. I don't mind, just listen to the hot topics, but work on the Naomi. Look, work on that, okay? Ow, now my foot's asleep. Anyway, so Robin Thicke is begging his wife, Paula Patton, to come back, and it may be working, they say. Well, no, I think it's too soon, but I'll tell you the story. Robin and Paula reportedly still talk constantly. Well, they have to. They have that son. And Paula reportedly has, isn't it cute? He doesn't look black at all, does he? Ooh. He's gonna go through it. He's gonna check black when he goes to college. They're gonna think he wants an equal opportunity scholarship. He's gonna be like, no, I am black. Anyway, look, so Paula reportedly has no plans to hire a divorce lawyer. No, hey, look, this separation just happened. It's too soon for a divorce lawyer. She's got to get her head together. Remember, she's been with him since they were teenagers. He 14 and she's 16. So reportedly now, they're talking about what Robin needs to do to make the marriage work. I say it's too soon to talk about that, you know? Just like I'm a little tired of him begging all around the world. I mean, I think he's doing the right thing and it does wear a certain girl down. You know, it's probably gonna wear her down. But my suggestion to Paula is that you don't get back together with him, and I'm sticking by this, until December 31st. Right? You want to kiss the correct person on New Year's Eve, correct? And they've been married for a long time, and I'm sure he's done her wrong many times. Allegedly, the streets have been talking since forever. I think that, you know, I don't know what Paul has done during the marriage, but she's pretty enough. She's probably no innocent, but certainly not as hurtful as him. I think that she needs to spend spring and summer kissing boys, having fun. You know, and ladies and gentlemen, I'm not saying that kissing boys is the only thing that she should be doing, but when a girl gets with a boy at 16 years old, chances are that boy has been rock starring around the world and not suffering in the least by being in a monogamous relationship. While Paul is trying to be a dutiful wife and a good woman, I think that she's got some things to do. You know, maybe a little meditation. I bet you she's never taken a trip by herself, you know, to really find herself. Go someplace good, treat yourself to the presidential suite at a 5-star hotel in Bali, you know? And most importantly, get out there and have fun, Khloe Kardashian style. Go out in something like this. Are we judging? Okay. Clap if you think that this is a fun outfit. I think it's a fun outfit. I am past my time to wear it. However, you go, Chloe. And you know where she was going in this outfit? She was going to see Rick Ross in concert. The guy over her shoulder is acting like she just passed gas. He's like... Work it, Chloe. So now listen. Katharine McPhee and her husband, Nick, could be on the mends after the big public cheating scandal. If we would just leave them alone, maybe they could get this together. Why do we have to talk about it? Because that's what we do. Yeah. Right? Sorry. Sorry, Katharine, I didn't mean to bring this up. I virtually forgot that we caught you making out with your former director from Smash in the parking lot. That is not her husband. That's Michael Morris. Michael Morris, he's the director of the now defunct show, right? Smash. It was on ABC. Remember Kristen Chenoweth and some others were on it. Anyway, first of all, why do they have to make out in the park? All right. Cheating aside, because cheating is wrong. But if you're gonna cheat, why do you have to kiss in the parking lot? Why couldn't you say goodbye and kiss in the vestibule? Honestly. And the heads are all tilted. And everyone's eyes look closed in my mind. And he's grabbing her passionately. Look how close they are. I don't like it. But you know what? Men aren't the only ones who cheat. And Katharine and Nick, her husband, were recently spotted looking pretty amicable, walking their dogs together. Now, if you'll notice, he's walking on the outside. That's what a gentleman does, right? Just some random guy you walk with or some guy who wants to divorce you won't walk on the outside. He'll want you to walk near the street so he can push you. And you know how when guys cheat, like when Chloe had to buy Vanessa, when Kobe had to buy Vanessa the big purple right-hand ring, the Bryants. Well, here goes Big Mama McPhee over here buying Nick a woo him back Rolex. I know. It's 2004. Women are up to things. And, I wish you well. I think in general, though, men have a hard time taking us back if we cheat. And if they do take us back, here's my rule. And you can agree or not, whatever. We fight every day, so one more fight won't make a difference. Look, a man who takes a cheating girl back is either, an opportunist because she's like J-Lo status to her little boy. You know what I mean? So if J-Lo, for instance, got caught cheating, I think that Casper would take her back. Okay, that's one kind of man. But the other kind of man, in my mind, who takes a cheating woman back is a man who's probably cheated but hasn't gotten caught himself. So, I'm just saying, just an observation. Hi, Ryan Seacrest, how you doing? You know, Ryan wasn't always so fit and fabulous, and I like to remind you of this because many of us grew up fat and pushed off to the side of life. I know I did. Oh, you did too? Clap if that was you. All right, so there are a few of us losers in here. That's okay, don't feel sorry for us. We got a talk show. Yep. But Ryan wasn't always so fit and fabulous. You know, he grew up in the South, and Ryan reportedly, now to keep himself together and cute, that's what he, right? Look at how he's looking at us, too. This is one of the main reasons that I love Ryan. I mean, yes, there's the success with that empire he's built, but it's what he rose from the ashes. You all, the ashes. Now listen. So reportedly, Ryan has 4 assistants. Hey, well, he's busy. And one of them he hires specifically to follow him around in a briefcase filled with insulin to keep his microbiotic green juices cold. And when he's ready for a green juice, he just says, "Green juice, please." I don't find that diva behavior. I find that's the thing that keeps you from the scooter pies in the vending machine. You know what I mean? You know what he says when he was younger? He says, he says that when he got home from school, he used to eat a sheet of nachos and watch Oprah. It's kind of a weird thing for a young man to do, be watching Oprah. But he might not have had a whole lot of friends, and so left to your own devices, you watch what's available. My only concern with his whole new way of life, don't judge me, is that he stopped drinking. Not because he has a problem, but because of the calories. Which means that he's probably never just a little bit looser and fun. I don't want to say drinking makes you fun, but drinking makes you fun. How you doing, Ryan Seacrest? Keep clapping, everybody. We've got more great show for you. The always enjoyable Rosie Perez is here. She's giving us the dimple. Rosie's got a new memoir. I can't wait to catch up with her, but up next, it's time for one of my favorite features on the show, Celebrity Fan Out. Don't go far. For everyone's favorite, Celebrity Fan Out. Okay, our first Celebrity Fan Out comes from Liness M., who watches The Wendy Show on WFLD in Mount Prospect, Illinois. Liness writes, "How you doing, Wendy? I was in South Africa for work, and I couldn't believe who was walking right by my window. It was Mila Kunis." Wow, that's a good one. I definitely freaked out because as soon as I saw her, I screamed and started running towards her. She even turned toward her friend and said she scared me. She was nice enough to take a photo with me. I didn't realize that she's such a tiny little lady, that Mila Kunis. You know, she's engaged to Ashton Kutcher, and by the way, she's gonna guest star on his show, 2.5 Men. I think that's cute. Our next Celebrity Fan Out comes from Rachel L., who watches The Wendy Show on WNYW in Nutley, New Jersey, the birthplace of Martha Stewart. And just my Jersey factoids. Hey, Wendy, how you doing? I was on my baby moon. What is that? After you have a baby? Oh, you go on a vacation? Oh. Well, somebody owes me a trip. I was on my baby moon when my husband, with my husband in Dominica, when I saw a familiar face walking around the resort. Imagine my surprise when I realized it was Kesha. Oh, nice. I was taken aback by how fresh-faced and sweet she was. She was total opposite of her image. We were just talking about Kesha yesterday. You know, she just got out of rehab for an eating disorder, and she dropped the $sign from the S in her name. Hey, Kesha, thank you for that. That was a good one. Okay. Our next Celebrity Fan Out comes from Doris F., who watches The Wendy Show on WTXF in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Doris writes, "Hi, Wendy. I was on my way to get an X-ray at the hospital when I saw a very fancy lady in an over-the-top fur coat. As I got closer, I saw it was Patti LaBelle." Look. I asked her to take a photo with me, and she replied, "Sure, honey, come on." Then she asked me to check out the photo to see if I'm happy with it. Of course I was. Here's a fun factoid about Miss LaBelle. She doesn't give a damn about PETA. And you know what? And to each his own. Look, you know, I just want you to look at the feet, at the train of her dress, her coat. Yes, that is the monster coat, Miss LaBelle. Thank you for that. That was a good one, Doris. All right, our final celebrity fan out comes from Christian F., who watches our show on BET in Old Hickory, Tennessee. Christian writes, how you doing, Wendy? This year, one of my dreams came true. I was lucky enough to meet one of the most beautiful women in the world. It was Dolly Parton. I felt like I was in the presence of an angel. Oh, by the way, Wendy, my dad lets me stay up late to watch your show. I'm the luckiest kid in the world. Oh, yes, you are, Christian. Thank you so much. If you've ever had an encounter with a celebrity and you want to share it, we call it Celebrity Fan Out. Go to wendyshow.com for all the details. Up next, the one and only Rosie Perez is here. When our first guest stops by, she's an Oscar-nominated actress, and she's got a new memoir, and in it she shares everything from her troubled childhood to her rise to superstardom. Please welcome to our show, our friend Rosie Perez. I want to give you a little shoe cam.
Okay.
Can we give Rosie? Yeah, there we go. Cute. Rosie, you really do have some rockin' hair.
Thank you.
Now, the hair that you have on the cover of your book, I obsess. I came in this morning, I told my Antoine, who does my wigs, I was like, I need this. Look at that hair. Right? Sexy.
You can get it too.
Yeah, no, he's sewing it up as we speak.
Yeah. There's so much hair on that cover, it's ridiculous. And the smirk you see me with, Eric Johnson shot that. I just almost bursted out laughing because I was like, this is ridiculous. But hair is a major factor in the book.
But you want to know what? The smirk is good because you win.
That's right.
Now, there are a few things in this book I want to talk to you about it, but first, congratulations on eloping.
Thank you.
I heard about it when it happened, and you're one of the women that I use as an inspiration for some of you who think that, you know, after 40, you know, that nothing's going to become of you. It's not true.
No, it's actually...
Do I have a booger in my nose? Why do I...
No. It's not true.
Go ahead, keep going.
Only a friend will tell you if you have a booger in your nose.
She's friend to the show.
I love it.
Go ahead.
No, but, you know, it's actually better now that I'm older because I am more secure as to who I am and more secure as to what I want.
Yes.
And you find a partner. You don't find a fantasy.
Yes.
And you find a partner, and I've married my partner, my best friend.
Yeah. And so never give up on love. And I love how it happened. So you all are fight fans, and you went out there to see Mayweather fight?
Yes.
And if he won, you'd elope?
No. I knew he was. No, it wasn't a bet that he was gonna win. I would just kept saying, I bet he's gonna win. I bet he's gonna win. And he goes, you know what would be better? I bet if we eloped, it would make it even sweeter. And that's where it came from. So it's taken out of context.
That's cute. That's
yes.
cute. And so how long have you been married now?
Since September 15th of 2013. I know it because. No, I know it because that was the day after the Mayweather fight, so I'll never forget my anniversary.
So now let's talk about the smirk on the cover. And I said because you've won. I had no idea that you were a ward of the state.
Yes.
I had no idea that your mother was diagnosed with schizophrenia.
Right.
I had no idea about a lot of things, Rosie. Let's talk about a ward of the state and how'd you get there, and how did that change your life or give you a different perspective now as a grown woman?
Well, I was a product of an affair, and I won't give it all away because you got to read the book.
You were a product of an affair?
Of an affair.
Okay.
My parents were married to different people. They had me a week when I was born. My mother dropped me off at my father's sister's house. My aunt said, I'll be right back, and she didn't come back for 3 years. And when she did come back, she only came back to take me and place me in a Catholic convent. And in that instant, I became property of New York State and governed by the Catholic Church.
Jesus.
And so all my rights as a child were gone. and it took a very, very long time to get out. And I vacillated between upstate New York and Brooklyn and my aunt's house back and forth.
How old were you when you first got placed in?
3.
And how old were you when you finally got out?
Well, that's tricky because I got out of the home, that's what we call the Catholic Church, at 8 years old. But then there was a lot of legal stuff that was going back and forth, and I went right back into the system because of it.
How did you survive that?
You know what, Wendy? I just think that there was something inside of me that I knew as a child that I was special, and I was supposed to contribute something special to the world.
Yeah.
And that's what kept me going.
And
I went, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I don't mean to embarrass you.
Uh-oh.
But I thought of you when I was writing the book.
You did?
Yes, I did, because I remember listening to your show when you were on radio.
Oh.
And you said you were a big sister.
I was.
And back then, I'm old, they were called volunteers. And I had a very influential volunteer, this woman, that helped me understand as well that I can obtain other things. She took me from the home on the weekends, sometimes when I couldn't go to Brooklyn, to her house. And I said, oh, this is how other people live?
Yes, yes,
you know,
yes.
This is a possibility.
Yeah.
And as an adult, when I heard you on the radio and you said that, it touched me.
Thank you, Rosie.
You know, really
Thank
did.
you, thank you, Rosie. A shout out to the Big Brothers and Big Sisters organizations,
Yes.
or if you happen to be an older person, you don't have to necessarily formally be involved with them, but it's
That's
nice
right.
to reach back and thank you, Rosie. Now, about this thing with you and Tupac, because while I was on the radio, I do remember stirring that pot as well. All right, explain this picture and where you were and why it was that we were all talking about Rosie and Tupac being a couple.
Right. Everyone thought that we were having sex.
Yes!
Yes.
Of course.
And we weren't.
Oh!
How happened was is that I was supposed to go to the Soul Train Music Awards with this other guy in the music industry. Don't ask. We'll talk about it afterwards.
Okay.
And he stood me up. He stood me up 15 minutes before we were supposed to leave. And Tupac, we were friends, and he called me up and he was like, what's up? And I was like, and he said, yo, forget that.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
And he says, let's go up there, I'll be your date. I said, what? He goes, he's gonna be so jealous with me and you and everything. I said, yeah. And he goes, plus I want you to hook me up with Madonna. Yeah.
Now, did you, now I'm sure you don't do this now, but back then, did you puff a little law before you hit the red carpet? Okay. Listen,
that was 20 years ago.
That was 20 years ago.
But what happened was is that I wasn't a puffer back then.
Oh, so it hit you good.
Oh, what? Okay. To the point where we were in the limousine and my best friend Julie was in the limousine as well.
Yes.
And we're sitting there and we're like, whatever. And I look at Pac and he looks at me and I go, are we supposed to kiss or something? and he said, no, because you're the type of girl that someone marries.
Oh, so did he end up leaving with Madonna or hooking up with Madonna? Oh, well, we learned something new every day. Wow.
Yeah, and it was crazy night because when we got out of the limo, I was so stoned and I was so scared and everything. And he's like, don't worry, I got you. And that's the handing,
That's the picture?
That's the picture when he said, I got you.
Oh.
It was so cute. And then when we got there and we sat there, I didn't realize he was sleeping with half of the women in the industry.
More great chat with Rosie after these messages. Rosie's still here. You know, Rosie's first big break was Soul Train, and we have the video. Let's
God.
see how you did it. Oh.
Oh, look at that!
I love this. Rosie, you are doing the most.
Oh my God, what?
Okay.
What?
Okay. Okay.
Oh my God,
And with the angry face.
oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
Rosie! in your memoir, you know, Rosie does have a new memoir. We've been talking about it. If you just got here, you're late. Look, in the book, I love the passage where you throw fried chicken at Don Cornelius.
Yes.
Rest in peace.
Yes.
Why did that happen? I know. Why did that happen?
Well, because I was humping on, well, he was humping on me. Not Don Cornelius, no. Keith Sweat was performing on the show, and he came over, and I was dancing on the back riser. He comes over and he starts humping on me. And Don kept yelling, cut, and he had to redo the take. And so by the time I got down the Soul Train line, Don was so angry at me. And there's other reasons, I don't want to give it away,
okay,
you know, that he was angry at me. And also I was dancing hip hop down the line, and that was a no-no.
Okay, so
it was a big no-no.
How were you supposed to dance?
Like that.
Okay.
Like a vixen.
Yes, like
you
a
know?
vixen.
And I just was tired of it. I wanted to dance how I always danced, and it was hip hop, and he didn't like it, and it was kind of new to LA at the time.
And you're a product of New York, so you were at the Latin Quarters and all these great places all the time.
The world,
yes,
everything, yes, the loft, what? And so, yes. And so then what happened was is that he told me, you better go down the line like I tell you to. And I got so angry at him, and I was like, well, I'm out. And I walked down the Soul Train line like I was Naomi Campbell. And then he grabbed me.
Huh?
And I had like a terrible temper because of all the things that I went through as a child.
Yes.
And I talk about that in the book, how I suffered now, when I was an adult, not now, from PTSD.
What is
Chris
that?
Brown, he needs to address it.
Yeah, that's...
And I say that with love.
Your shrink diagnosed you with, like you have a tick.
Yes.
Do you take meds?
No, I did take meds for a long time. I was so insulted.
Okay, yes.
She was like, you're not mentally ill, but you need medication. I was like, what? And it helped a lot. But anyway, when he grabbed me, that tick went off.
Okay.
Like, boom.
Boom.
And I went to swinging, and he went to swinging. I ducked, and the only thing that we got paid was a 2-piece Kentucky Fried Chicken lunchbox. And I grabbed that lunchbox, and it was open, and what was in the hand was a chicken wing, and I threw it, and it went boink. And I was escorted out.
And you were escorted out by security.
Yeah.
So then you moved on, and you know, I know that the big story that people have been talking about in your book is with you and Jennifer Lopez. You know, graze over it if you care. You discovered Jennifer?
Yes.
Yes. Tell us how and whether you all get along today.
Okay. First of all, I just want to say that what the tabloids did was a disservice for every single person who has suffered from child abuse. Because that's what really the book is about. How do you move on as an adult and not let your past haunt your present day?
But what they did was they took the Jennifer thing.
And it's that big in the book.
Yes.
And I did discover her. We had a open casting call in New York to find a new fly girl. I saw her, I said, oh my God, this beautiful girl with this biggest butt is so... No, that's no disrespect, because a woman with a butt is a beautiful thing.
And she also said that she has a very pretty face.
Yes.
And you saw something that Keenan didn't see.
I saw instant star charisma. I said, Keenan, this girl is a star. We should get her. He said no. We went back to LA. We had another casting call. We hired someone else who was a very good dancer. But after 3 weeks, Keenan was like, you're right. And I said, we need to go back and get the girl from the Bronx. And he did, and look at her now. She has a wonderful career.
But there was a little tumultuousness in between. But you put that, both of you put it in the past. And
yeah, that incident happened 20 years ago.
Girlhood, it's called Girlhood.
Yeah, and it was over. And the reason why I mentioned it along with the Don Cornelius chicken wing, along with me cursing out Jamie Foxx, was because I wanted to address that I did, in fact, have PTSD. I did have residual anger and pain from my past that I wasn't aware of.
Yes.
I thought I had risen above it.
Yes.
And success and money doesn't mean you've risen above your issues.
There you go. Clap it up one time for Rosie Perez. Rosie's new memoir is a must-read. It's called Handbook for an Unpredictable Life. Rosie Perez, it's now available in stores. Up next, it's time for Ask Wendy. Rosie. We're back, and it's time for Ask Wendy. How you doing?
How you doing?
Good. How can I help?
Hi, my name is Tony. I'm 52 years old. I'm single, and I am fabulous.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Okay, now this is the situation. Okay, at work, there's this really young, cute guy.
How young? 25?
No, he's older than 25. Okay. He's older than 25, but he always sexts me at work.
Now, what is that? What is that sexting? He's telling you what he wants to do with you, with your body?
No, he's just sending me little sexy text messages.
Okay,
all the time. So now, even though I'm flattered,
yes,
because I do send him stuff back.
Okay. So you sext him back?
Yeah, sometimes I do.
Okay, Tony.
So the next time he sends me these sexy messages, what should I do?
Ask him out?
Ask him out.
Well, here's my thing. Here's my thing about sexting. Sexting is something that sounds really young. You know, like you sext once, that's enough. Like for me personally, I wouldn't sext back only to somebody who's not my husband because I don't want you to have the evidence that I'm sexting you as a coworker, so that if something goes down bad between us, you besmirch my name at the fax machine.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if I were you, I would stop sexting him back and know that young usually translates into just a little vodeo dough.
Okay.
You know, something to make a girl feel good.
That's right.
And ask him out. And take this out of the office, and he's got to act right.
Right.
And no matter what people at work say, you deny it, because young boys never, a young boy very rarely knows how to carry on an affair with a grown woman at work.
Yes.
Oh, and that's the fact, Jack.
Yes.
All right, Tony. Up next, everybody, we're gonna reveal our audience eye candy of the day. Don't go far. I got a diva fan for our audience eye candy of the day, Kelly Jarrett. I love your outfit. Tell us about it.
Thank you for picking me. This is a floral blouse from H&M, only $20. This skirt is from Love Culture, $25.
Okay.
And my shoes from Forever 21, $30.
Fantastic. Thank you for reminding us spring is around the corner. We'll be right back, everyone. Here you go, Jack. Tomorrow from Cougar Town, Busy Phillips is here, plus the very funny Billy Eichner. I love you for watching today, and I'll see you next time on Wendy. Bye!